Imagine a city that belongs to the modern world, yet every night it vanishes into darkness. Streets, schools, and markets fall silent. People survive on candles and generators, each hour teetering between life and death. This is Maracaibo, where electricity has become a luxury, and the night never truly ends. Maracaibo, the second largest city of Venezuela, was once a thriving hub of oil production and prosperity. By day, it bustles with energy, markets overflowing, children laughing, and cars honking through busy streets. But as the sun sets, reality hits, a darkness that feels absolute swallows the city. Streetlights flicker, or fail entirely, leaving entire neighborhoods in pitch black. Homes rely on candles, makeshift lamps, or small generators that can barely keep essential appliances running. Families gather anxiously as the power fades, wrapping ice blocks in towels to save perishable food. Shops and markets continue their trade under the faint glow of flickering candles, while street vendors whisper about the next blackout. Children struggle to study, reading under dim lamps, their homework and dreams threatened by the absence of electricity. The irony is crushing. This is an oil-rich city, yet the lights fail night after night. The pipelines, once symbols of wealth and hope, now run past powerless homes, highlighting a bitter contrast between natural resources and daily survival. The people of Maracaibo adapt in ways that outsiders can barely imagine, improvising, enduring, surviving. And yet, the darkness is more than an inconvenience. It is a living, breathing force that shapes behavior, increases fear, and exposes the vulnerabilities of an entire city. As the night deepens, whispers of the city's hidden struggles begin to surface, stories of hospitals running on generators, neighborhoods abandoned to the shadows, and families learning resilience in ways they never asked for. But this darkness is only the beginning, the real story of how Maracaibo survives, and the human spirit that refuses to surrender, will unfold in the hours ahead. As night descends on Maracaibo, the city transforms. What once felt like a vibrant metropolis becomes a maze of shadows. Families navigate narrow streets with flickering candles, their footsteps cautious, eyes alert for unseen dangers. The blackout is not just an absence of light, it is a presence that changes everything. Shops attempt to operate under dim lanterns, vendors shouting over the quiet hum of distant generators. Life continues, but in an altered rhythm dictated by darkness. Children clutch books under small lamps, straining their eyes to complete homework before the light dies. Parents juggle work and survival, ensuring food doesn't spoil, ice blocks don't melt, and essential devices remain charged for emergencies. Conversations are hushed, laughter muted. The city pulses with a fragile tension, as every hour without power becomes a test of endurance and resilience. Transportation slows. Traffic lights fail, causing intersections to rely on human caution and improvisation. Cars creep carefully through the empty roads while pedestrians balance on the edge of the sidewalks, avoiding potholes hidden in the shadows. Even basic communication becomes a challenge, phone batteries are rationed like precious currency, and social networks buzz less with entertainment and more with survival tips. Yet amid the darkness, Maracaibo shows glimpses of human spirit. Neighbors help one another, sharing candles, ice, and food. Small communities gather in courtyards, creating pockets of light and warmth where stories are told, and fears are shared. Children play quietly under candlelight, turning scarcity into creativity, laughter echoing faintly against the silent walls of the powerless situ. And still, the blackout exposes more than inconvenience, it uncovers vulnerability, fear, and the fragility of a city built on oil yet deprived of basic electricity. The struggle of one night leads to questions about survival, human adaptation, and the cost of living in a city where darkness reigns. As Maracaibo endures another long night, the shadows stretch further, hinting at challenges that go beyond blackouts. The heart of the city's crisis is only beginning to reveal itself. In Maracaibo, the blackout is more than an inconvenience, it is a threat to life itself. Hospitals struggle to function on weak, unreliable generators, their emergency lights flickering like dying stars. Doctors and nurses move quickly through darkened corridors, their steps echoing in the silence, each second a race against time. Surgeries must be performed with limited power, oxygen machines humming uncertainly, monitors failing intermittently. One misstep could cost a life. Outside, ambulances crawl through the shadowed streets, sirens low to avoid drawing attention to crime-prone areas. Patients wait anxiously, their families hovering nearby, fear etched in every line of their faces. A mother holds her child, whispering prayers, as a small generator hums faintly nearby, barely enough to sustain life-saving equipment. Water supply falters. Public services that once functioned automatically now rely on human improvisation. Residents line up at pumps and wells, carrying heavy containers through dark streets, each trip a struggle and a risk. The city, once vibrant, now exists in fragile pockets of survival. Amid this chaos, stories of courage emerge. A nurse improvises with candlelight to prepare medications, a neighborhood organizes a generator rotation so that critical equipment can stay on. But even these small victories are temporary. The blackout doesn't discriminate, rich or poor, young or old, everyone feels its weight. The irony is undeniable: Maracaibo, rich with oil, cannot sustain electricity in its hospitals. Wealth flows past powerless neighborhoods, highlighting the city's systemic failure. Each night becomes a stark reminder that modernity without infrastructure is a fragile illusion. And yet, even in this struggle, the human spirit endures. Residents adapt, survive, and support each other in ways outsiders can scarcely imagine. But as darkness persists, one question lingers: how long can a city survive when its lifelines fail night after night? As darkness settles deeper over Maracaibo, a remarkable transformation occurs. While the city sleeps under the blanket of blackouts, small pockets of life emerge, communities that refuse to surrender to the night. Neighbors gather in courtyards, their homes illuminated by candles and lanterns, creating islands of warmth and light amidst the shadows. Conversations are whispered, stories are shared, and for a moment, the city feels alive despite the absence of electricity. Children, adapting to the night, play quietly under dim lights, turning scarcity into creativity. Games are invented, laughter echoing softly against walls that would otherwise feel oppressive. Parents watch closely, teaching resourcefulness and caution, knowing that each candle and generator is precious. Meals are cooked over small stoves or improvised burners, and neighbors share ingredients and water, forming networks of survival that are as vital as electricity itself. Even in the streets, life continues cautiously. Shopkeepers operate under flickering lanterns, vendors call out under shadows, and families navigate pathways with careful steps, alert to obstacles hidden in darkness. The night reveals both vulnerability and strength, the fragility of the city's infrastructure and the resilience of its people. Maracaibo's residents have learned to adapt. Social bonds grow stronger, communities organize rotations for generators, and neighbors watch out for one another. In the absence of power, humanity shines brightest. The city's darkness teaches lessons of cooperation, ingenuity, and hope in adversity. Yet, the contrast is stark. While human spirit prevails, the structural failures remain. Schools, hospitals, and essential services still rely on intermittent electricity, and every night brings uncertainty. The question persists: how much longer can the city endure, surviving night after night with only flickers of light guiding its people? As Maracaibo navigates another night, the story of resilience continues, but the looming shadows of neglect and infrastructure failure hint at challenges that are far from over. Maracaibo, a city once celebrated as Venezuela's oil powerhouse, now stands as a haunting paradox. Pipelines snake across the horizon, flowing with the black gold that once promised prosperity. Yet, the lights in homes and hospitals remain dark. Streets are unlit. Markets rely on candlelight. The very resource that built the city seems powerless to sustain its people. The reason is not scarcity of oil, but the collapse of infrastructure, corruption, and government mismanagement. Power plants malfunction regularly, maintenance is delayed or ignored, and budgets for basic services are misappropriated. Residents witness the irony daily: oil exports continue to generate revenue, while their city struggles to provide electricity for a single night. Families express frustration, blending anger with resignation. Conversations revolve around how their government has failed them, yet no immediate solution arrives. Children grow up learning that the world outside their city is bright and functioning, but their own lives are dictated by rolling blackouts and broken promises. Hospitals still rely on fragile generators, schools remain dark, and local businesses are forced to adapt or close. Visual contrast highlights the city's tragedy: gleaming oil rigs in the distance, pumping endlessly, while neighborhoods remain shadowed and powerless. It is a stark reminder that wealth does not guarantee comfort when governance fails. The blackout is more than an inconvenience, it is a symptom of systemic collapse. Yet, even amidst the anger and despair, Maracaibo's citizens demonstrate remarkable resilience. Community networks, candlelit gatherings, and improvised solutions persist. Survival is a daily ritual. The darkness may dominate the city, but human ingenuity refuses to be extinguished. As night stretches on, the oil paradox becomes a question that haunts every resident: how can a city so rich in resources endure so profoundly in darkness? And what does this reveal about the fragility of a modern society built on wealth, yet abandoned by its own systems? As the night in Maracaibo stretches on, the city continues to exist in a fragile balance between survival and despair. Streets remain shadowed, homes flicker with candlelight, and hospitals hum quietly with struggling generators. For its residents, darkness is not temporary, it is the backdrop of life itself. Every hour without electricity shapes routines, decisions, and relationships. Yet, in the absence of power, human resilience shines brightest. Families gather in small pockets of light, children invent games in the glow of candles, and neighbors share resources without hesitation. Communities organize, protect, and adapt, proving that survival is more than just endurance, it is an act of collective courage. The laughter of a child under dim light or a neighbor helping another carry water becomes a quiet rebellion against the darkness. The irony remains striking: a city rich in oil, producing wealth that fuels nations, yet unable to illuminate its own streets. Blackouts persist, infrastructure fails, and government support remains insufficient. But while systems falter, the human spirit does not. It adapts, invents, and survives. Maracaibo teaches a lesson few cities can: strength is not measured by resources, but by the determination to endure despite them. As dawn approaches, the city stirs once again. Light slowly returns, but not to all areas equally. The shadows of the night linger in memory, a reminder that darkness is more than physical, it is systemic. Yet hope persists. Children wake to study again, families plan for the day, and communities prepare for the next night. Maracaibo survives, not because of oil, government, or infrastructure, but because its people refuse to surrender. Their stories are a testament to endurance, resilience, and the human capacity to find light, even when all around is dark. This is Maracaibo, a city that lives without electricity, yet refuses to die in the darkness.